In this episode of Pop Culture Weekly, it's all about Apple TV Plus's The Crowded Room. Let's go!
Welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon from iHeartRadio. Your pop culture news, views, reviews, and celebrity interviews on all the movies, TV, music, and pop culture you crave weekly. Here's Kyle McMahon.
Hello, and welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon. I, of course, am Kyle McMahon, and this episode is all about Apple TV Plus's The Crowded Room. I can't say enough about this limited series. It is really, really powerful, really incredible. It's a thriller. It's tight, it's intriguing, it's deep. It centers around Tom Holland, who it takes place in Manhattan in 1979, and Tom Holland is arrested for a crime, and then an investigator is trying to solve the mystery behind it. Amanda Seyfried plays the investigator. Tom Holland is the man, thought to do this crime. It is really, really, really good. Again, I can't stress enough how good this is. I can't really say too much because it's very twisty, and I don't want to give you any spoilers, to be honest. I just want you to go in and love it as much as I did. Do yourself a favor. Don't look up spoilers. Enjoy the series for how it's meant to be. Go in cold. It will be well worth it that way. So having said that, on the last episode, I was at the red carpet premiere of The Crowded Room at the Museum of Modern Art. I'm really upset because, I interviewed, most of the cast and Amanda and all. Tom Holland, I was next to interview him, and then he got done with the person right next to me while I was still interviewing Amanda. And so his publicist, which I totally get, you don't want him just standing around, but his publicist was like, all right, well, let's go in. And I'm like, I'm next and I'm last. I'm the last person he has to talk to. So I missed my interview with Tom, but that's okay. We'll get him for the next project. So those were my stand-up interviews on the red carpet. Today is my sit-down interviews. So I talk with Amanda Seyfried and Sasha Lane. Amanda, of course, I've talked to her before, and she's an incredible actress, Emmy winner, Oscar nominated, really, really incredible actress. I also talk with Sasha Lane, who Sasha, you may know from Loki, where she played Hunter C-20 in season 1 of Loki, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And she was in Daniel Isn't Real and Amazing Stories and really cool. She was also in Hellboy, the 2019 one. And she's just a really great actress, really cool person. And I'm really glad to talk to her. Again, I'm trying not to do any spoilers in these interviews. So it's like difficult, you know what I mean? Because I want you guys to... When you're watching, I don't want you to listen to the show, this show that you're listening to now, and then be like, oh man, well now I know that part. Because it's very important to the series that you not know anything. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Let's start with my interview with Sasha Lane. So this series is extremely powerful. It's riveting, edge of your seat. I really, really love it. For you, what attracted you to the project?
I think I've always been a big fan of psychological thrillers. I love a good puzzle piece. I also really love the emotional aspects to it. About compassion and healing and all of that. So it was just kind of like an instant yes for me.
And for you, as I was, watching, I kind of was thinking of the filmmakers and the cast and all. I feel like you would need a chart to kind of have it all, laid out before you. As you're filming, were you only getting the parts that you needed, or were you able to kind of see the whole picture before you went into shooting?
Like, do you mean if I got the full script or if I was kind of able to focus on everyone else's?
Yeah, exactly. Like, did you get the full script so you could kind of get the whole picture of who your character is in this bigger picture?
Yeah, I think a little bit before we went into production, they were kind of gradually handing out the episodes because they were still tweaking them a little bit. So it was almost like a discovery of my own
Hmm.
character as I was awaiting to start. But it was nice to be able to then it's nice to be able to get the full concept. Obviously, I was a fan of it, so I wanted to read it myself. But then because there's so many like separate parts to it and separate kind of groups of characters, I then just kind of zeroed in on my world and who I interacted with.
And how is that for you? How are you able to kind of do that? Where, I mean, obviously you're an actor, you're a pro, but mentally, how are you able to kind of separate yourself from this broader picture and bring what you want to bring to her?
I think I I guess it's kind of how you might just function in everyday life of, okay, I know my end goal is here and this is what this world could look like, but I'm focusing on today because that's what's important is right now versus if I start thinking about the weekend, then it's all going to get consumed and, you won't be able to like focus as deep. So for me, the rest of the story almost doesn't matter, especially if I'm not
Mm.
meeting them or if I'm not um that has nothing to do with what I'm doing today in terms of what Ariana is doing that day, So I think it's
Mhm.
it's probably a little bit easier than it sounds, I guess. At least for me, I like to kind of zero in on something.
I love that, and that's actually a great kind of take home for all of our lives. If we could just focus on, right here, right now, we won't
Yeah.
have to get anxiety about tomorrow or what may be in the
Exactly.
future.
I think it's a good thing with, a person who struggles with anxiety. It does help me to be like, that's not even happening yet. There's no point. It's just going to stress me out for no reason when this is and I'm being a mom too. You're like, I can't think about tomorrow too deep because right now it's dinner time.
Right, right. I love that. My therapist said one time, do what your dog does. And it took me a while to get that. And then I'm like, wow, my dog Blue is always just in the moment, as
Yeah.
dogs are. They're not worried about, tomorrow or next week or next month. They're worried about right this moment. And I love that. So
True. Yeah, that's
uh,
a good one. That's a good one.
thank you so much, Sasha. I can't wait for everybody to see The Crowded Room. It's such an incredible series. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
You too,
Thanks.
man.
Sasha Lane, really great person, really good actor, really does an amazing job in The Crowded Room. I can't say much. I feel like I'm being so mysterious, and I am, but it's for your benefit, I promise. All right, next up, Emmy Award winner, multiple Emmy noms. She won for last year's The Breakout, of course, which I talked to her for. She's been in Mamma Mia, Mean Girls, all kinds of great films. And she is really amazing in this. I'm telling you, there's going to be Emmy noms for this too. So without further ado, let's talk with Amanda Seyfried. So first of all, I want to congratulate you on this. It is such an incredibly powerful, thought-provoking series, and you do an amazing job in it. I absolutely love it. I really do.
Thanks.
Of course. So let me ask for you, a chunk of this series takes place just you and Tom, in a room, almost like a play. Do you find that more challenging or less challenging than, say something like Mamma Mia or something where there's, all these people kind of all around you for most of the project?
It depends. It depends. I guess, when you're thinking about physicality, it's a lot easier because you could just sit back and in some ways you're relaxed in a way that you wouldn't be when you're dancing around, a cliffside. But and the coordination and that physical intensity can be really fun and actually make things easier. But in this respect, it's kind of like the meat. It's kind of like what I love about acting most is that human connection. And when there's nothing else to distract, you can really get pretty deep and it can get pretty silent and pretty tense, and little nuances pop out in ways that you just don't see and you aren't affected by when it's grand and super comedic. And it just depends on the genre and depends on the subject matter and depends on the circumstances. And in this sense, I felt like we had so much room to play in this interrogation room. And to build too. We built so much on these characters when they really started coming together and connecting and caring about each other and trusting each other. It was magical to shoot.
I love that. And does that, I'm not an actor, so I don't know, but does that scare you, that vulnerability, that focus where it's just the two of you? I know you said it excites you and all, but I feel like for me, that'd be terrifying.
Well, you're pretty stripped down. It's just the bare minimum, and the cameras are close and they're just moving all around trying to capture as much as they can, and I don't know, it can be terrifying if you don't like the person sitting opposite you. It can be hard, it can be a struggle, but it was fun because we had the same level of enthusiasm for our characters and for the story and for what was developing between us. And so it felt really safe, actually.
I love that. And I think that's so important. And I think it ends up showing in your work. It's really an incredible series. I can't wait for everybody to see The Crowded Room. Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Of course. Have a great day.
You too.
Amanda Seyfried. I cannot wait for you to see The Crowded Room. It is out today on Apple TV Plus. It is so powerful, so twisty, so psychological, so thrilling, so edge of your seat, so good. It is so good. Let's talk about episode 1, okay? Because I can do that once you've seen episode 1, but I need to talk to people about it because, I've seen the whole show, and have been unable to talk about it for a month. So let's talk about it. Hit me up on socials, Facebook, whatever. I guess Twitter, but Instagram, Reddit, wherever. And let's talk The Crowded Room. If you didn't listen to the last episode, go back and listen to it. It's my red carpet interviews with the cast of The Crowded Room. All right. I'll see you next week. I love ya. We out.
Thank you for listening to Pop Culture Weekly. Hear all the latest at popcultureweekly.com.
The crowded room. Ooh.